You're welcome to the No Stand Zone podcast. My name is Tiae. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to have you guys join me on the pod. As always, bringing you the best of events around the Nigerian music industry. In-depth analysis, you get this nowhere else. You're not getting what we're doing here anywhere else. The number one podcast covering the Nigerian music industry, from album reviews to my personal takes on things that are happening to my predictions that, well, most of them just come to pass and are more in depth than what you get on social media, right? And let's be honest, most people get everything they get from social media when it comes to Afrobeat, especially people that are outside of the country, people that have no idea, who are newcomers. Maybe they just knew about the music industry, Nigerian music industry in the past 5 years or so. Everything they know is about what the artist are actually saying. They don't know anything outside of what the artists are actually telling them. And that's not the best way to know what is truly going on. You're not going to rely on the artist to be the one to tell you, right? You rely on the information from people who are actually paying attention to what these artists are saying and actually giving you their takes. Imagine if everything you hear about athletes and soccer players, whatever sport it is the artists, the athletes that are actually determining that. Right? They will tell you they're having a great game virtually every single time. But there's sometimes you need like honest, brutal analysis of what's going on, where you can say, no, this particular athlete isn't having the greatest of time right now. In fact, they're not playing well. In fact, this is the history behind it. This is how we got here. Things like that is what I'm saying. Right, you get my drift here, and I can tell you that you are not going to get any of the conversations we're having here. You are not hearing it anywhere else in the world. And this is not even me, trying to be braggadocious here, but I probably should, because no one covers the Nigerian music industry or just generally the African music industry like we do here. Okay, nobody covers it like we do here. So I'm really proud of the work we do here, that we're doing here. Very proud of every single one of you from 19 countries around the world that tune in every single week, to the thousands of downloads. And please, someone should hit the drum roll, please. 50 episodes. This is episode 50, right? I usually don't mention the episode numbers on the show, but I mean, this one is a special one, and I think I needed to just recognize that. And let me say, and I know I say this all the time, you guys have probably heard me say this, but I think it needs to be said over and over again to let you guys know that none of this will be possible without your support. Either listening every single week, either downloading, referring to friends, engaging on social media, from the tweets, engaging the tweets, leaving messages, and hitting the likes and the retweets. I mean, all of that goes a long way to make this podcast possible every single week. So I'm proud of every single one of you, and for you guys who have been here from the very beginning. Thank you very much. And for you who, for whatever reason, you're probably just joining today on episode 50. What should I say? Welcome to you too as well. Everyone is welcome here at whatever point in time you join the journey here, as long as you're able to give us feedback. We love that here. Okay, how we can get better, what we're doing to that you actually like as well, to keep it going. And refer friends and family as well. Let them know that everything they know about Afrobeats is not really what it is, right? There is more to it, right? And if you love the genre, you support the artist, you want to know more, this is where you should be. This is where you should be tuning into every single week. And like I mentioned earlier, episode 50, I've been thinking about it for weeks now. I won't even lie to you, because it's like all the episodes, it's like everything just went by so fast, right? Episode 10, episode 20, episode 30, episode 40. It's like everything went by so fast. And I was thinking about it, like, when did I start? Like episode 1. And it feels like It's like I really cannot even remember some of the recording sessions. If you tell me to recall some of them, like what recording episode 25 was like, I honestly cannot remember. It's like everything just went to the dark hole, right? And honestly, I have to tell you that I'm really passionate about this. I think that's why it's just about getting the content out every single week. We're not trying to be fancy here. I mean, the most important thing is, I mean, you're getting good sound quality every single week. That I do not even want to, that I don't compromise on. If you've been listening to this pod from the very beginning, you know we don't joke around with that. But all other things around, I think sometimes those things can be distracting, and I just want to focus right now putting out the content. And you guys know what I'm saying. I've mentioned it before. Well, and some people have mentioned it to me again or several times about doing a video pod. And because this is not what I do full time, right? I mean, I work as well, and that takes a lot of my time, right? And if you guys notice that I haven't been even posting some of the clips as often as I used to do maybe 2 weeks ago. Right now, I have so much on my plate that honestly, it was I think it was today that I was able to put out some of the clips, but nothing will take away the time that I put into coming and record the show every single week. But the extra stuff, I for I mean, for maybe for a while, for the next maybe a couple of weeks, the veracity at which I was putting out the clips as might not be as, I mean, as often. Let me say that I might not be posting as often as I've been doing the past couple of weeks before now. I just have to be honest with you. I have a lot going on personally, but that's not going to stop the pod every single week. All right, that being said, okay, so I just need to get that out. But please engage with the pod, send me DMs, especially on Twitter. Let me know what you think about the episodes. If you have thoughts as well, I'm very, very open. Let's have the conversation. If you disagree, it's fine, right? I mean, we disagree with friends, family, and all of that, right? And if you agree with me or you want to expand on some of the things that I talk about on the pod, please don't hesitate to do that as well. I'm very, very open. Let's build a community. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out via Twitter as well. I'm gonna be very, very open to that. And if you're one who likes to send me an email, I mean, please feel free. I don't think I mentioned that option a lot because I'm like, especially except for maybe something official, I just usually have a feeling that way who's sending emails. But please don't, if you want to send an email, I pay attention to that as well. Check my email every other day, so I wouldn't miss a reply to you as soon as possible. The email is nostanpod, that's NOSTANPOD @gmail.com. nostanpod@gmail.com. That's also nostanpod is also the handle, the pod's handle on Twitter, so don't hesitate. There you get all the clips as well and some announcements I might have to put out maybe during the week before the pod comes in. That will be a very good way, so don't hesitate. I needed to get don't hesitate to follow also on YouTube. I put out the short 10 minutes, maximum of 10 minutes of videos on some of the sessions that I've done. So they just take bites and pieces here and there, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, and I post it on YouTube as well. So please engage, subscribe. It's the No Stand Zone podcast on YouTube as well. So I needed to get all that fun stuff out of the way so we can get to the interesting stuff, get to the show proper. But once again, thank you to every single one of you for making this episode 50 possible. Couldn't have happened without every single one of you staying loyal and just being great every single week. All right, so what have I got? And yeah, so what was my week like? Let me even share that with you because something happened this week that I was just thinking about. As you guys know, before we get into new music, there hasn't been a lot of new music actually. The past like 2 weeks, there hasn't been a lot, and I just had time to catch up on so many things. And this past week, I was going through just hit the shuffle, right, and go through some of the songs that I liked in the past and just let it shuffle. And a song from Wande Coal's very first album, actually, one of the songs that I played, and I think it was Ololufe from that album. I think Ololufe is actually on that album. The album titled Mushin to Mohit. I mean, that album goes down as a classic and one of the greatest debut albums and one of the greatest albums ever actually released ever. And I remember, I think I don't even know what I was doing this past week, and that Ololufe came on, and I just had chills listening to the song and be like, wait, this song was 2009. How many years ago is that? 2025, 2009, and that's 16 years ago. And this song still sounds absolutely incredible. The whole project, and as that song came in, I just was like, wait, this song sounds absolutely incredible. If the song was released today, it would still, the song would still be a hit. In fact, if that whole album, if the whole Mushin to Mohit was released again today, it would still be a magnificent album. I have no doubt in my mind. And I haven't listened to the full album I don't even know, in a really long time. But actually listening to it again, and I'm like, wait, how does this sound so fresh? The things he was even singing about, the lyrics, the songwriting, is just incredible. And it just boggles my mind that this, and I understand that it's asking a lot from Wande Coal to give this kind of performance. A lot of artists are not even able to duplicate this, but he's been able to stay, as long as he has in the industry, right? And my thought was that this Wande Coal, it cannot be that he's totally lost, because listening to the previous album, the last one, and even the one he has more recently with the producer, I can't remember the producer's name right now. Let me see if I can recall the most recent album he like a joint collaboration he did with another artist, a producer recently. I'm trying to see if I can find that. I can't find that right now, but you get my point. I was thinking about it, and that album sounded a lot like he was freestyling through the whole thing, right? And that puts me in a very difficult position, because I'm like, how the Wande Coal that is in this Mushin to Mohit, it sounded very intentional in every single song, and that's what made it so brilliant. And it's not like I'm asking him to give me Mushin to Mohit again. I'm just, my desire is that he should be more intentional with the music. He's blessed with a great voice that still sounds crisp, and that's still very pleasant to listen to, right? 16 years after the very first album that made us fall in love with his music, right? So he still got that. And for me, I just feel like a lot of intentionality isn't behind the music anymore. And I don't think he's done yet. I think he still has so much to offer if he decides to be intentional. And the thing is, sometimes you run out of the juice, right? And I think he should actually sit with people who can help, spark that. Incredible songwriters in Nigeria, actually. There's people who know how to do this, who know how to write beautiful songs and tell incredible stories in the industry. And I think he can still deliver a superb project if he decides to be intentional, right? And I was just listening to the whole Mushin to Mohit. It just gave me chills. That there has to be a level above classic to give to projects like this that still sound very fresh. Not just that, it was impactful at the time. Like, you listen to the album again today, and it still invokes a lot of emotion. It's still, I'm still listening to Ololufe, and I'm like, oh my gosh, everything he was singing in that, every the storyline of the song, the way the song was put together, the structure of the song, the way the song even ended, putting a cherry on top of the story is just incredible work, man. And today I listened to it as well, and something else came to mind, and I'm like, in a day today where we're quick to brand every artist that comes up with a nice song or a decent project, the way we are so easy to crown them stars, right? When for me the bar is so high, knowing that Wande Coal is like the grandfather of all the artists, especially the pop artists that exist today. 98% of everyone who exists today in that pop scene owes their career to Wande Coal, because there was none that sounded and came with that smooth and great energy, that R&B vibe with the hybrid of the Yoruba and English, like blending smoothly. Nobody did it better, and nobody has actually done it better than Wande Coal, right? And we've had incredible artists come after him, and I can tell you that we haven't had another Wande Coal in this industry till now. And I'm like, he's still actively releasing music, right? But it's like no one has come close to like the vocal dexterity, the way he's able to tell stories like R&B and all that just that genre. No one has come close to him, right? And I mean, I just feel so proud. I think the bar should be a lot higher. The way we just we're so quick to be like, oh, this artist, or we're so quick to put them on a pedestal, and the way we are so quick as well to be like, oh, this guy is great, his music. No, I think we're too quick to do that today. In today's world, we're so quick to praise them for, in my own opinion, and this is not even a shade, is the truth, the fact, for a lot of mediocre work out there. For a lot of mediocre work out there, we're so quick to brand artists, right? And that takes me to this that I even want to talk about. Now, this artist is not Nigerian, but it kind of falls into what I was talking about before, talking about just now. Now, Fridayy released an album recently, and he's an American artist, and I don't even know the genre to put him in. I don't know if they regard him as R&B or just pop at this point. But he's been featuring a lot of Nigerian artists for the past 2 years. I think since his debut album in 2023. I think that's his debut titled Fridayy. I mean, the first album had Adekunle Gold, had Fireboy, had Ashake. He had Ashake on one of the remixes to the song. So he's been really kind of really like hands in glove and working with a lot of Nigerian artists in, I mean, the past 2-3 years, the past couple of years or so, and it has actually worked really, really well. The collaborations have been great. I mean, the best has to be Ashake, his collaboration with Ashake titled Blessings. That is such a phenomenal record, right? And that even reminds me, I mean, and the thing is, to be honest here, he and Ashake have similar, I'm not saying similar styles, right? Where they both use that vocal, the crowd vocal thing, right? They both work with a lot of melodies and harmonies and stuff like that. They do well with the melodies. Now, Fridayy is a better singer, a better songwriter for sure. But they have similar style here that I think Fridayy has stayed consistent. But then after that Ashake's first album, I think the internet bullied him into running away from that, trying to prove a stupid point that he can diversify or he's whatever. And Fridayy is released another project recently titled Some Days I'm Good, Some Days I'm Not, that is still rooted in who he is, with the strong vocals, incredible songwriting, using the crowd vocals and the harmonies that sounds absolutely ridiculous. I can listen to him for hours. I've listened to this album like 3-4 times, like a couple of times, just over and over again. There's some songs in there I'm like, oh my god, I just listened for the melody, the way the song was put together. I'm just listening to it for that, right? So, but let me not go deep into this album. He's not Nigerian. Well, he's not based here, if I could say that. So in Nigeria, so I don't want to focus a lot on it. But why I want to talk about this album is he actually featured 2 Nigerian artists on this project, right? He featured Teni, and he also featured what's his name, Llona. Now, I put out a tweet a few weeks ago, the first time I actually opened this project, before I actually listened to it, kind of in-depth listen. I opened the project, right? And I saw that, oh, he featured 2 Nigerian artists, and I decided to listen. So I listened to the Teni record and I listened to the Llona record. And I was like, I put out a tweet a few weeks ago, and you guys should go check it out. And I said that there are 2 reasons why artists feature other artists. One, because the other artists will probably bring more attention to the record, like the financial part of it. And 2, because the person brings, the talent and all of that, like actually can make the song from the musical point of view, can actually make the record better, can make your project better, the song better, right? And I said, those are the 2 kind of primary reasons you feature artists, right? And featuring Teni and Llona on this project did not achieve any of those 2. Of course, it's not bringing any form of attention, because they're not even big enough for that. And number 2, none of these 2 artists, with all due respect, is bringing any form of quality to this project, because this project is absolutely phenomenal. With the kind of collaborations that were on this project, it's like I said, wait, who scammed Fridayy into featuring these 2 artists? Because they added absolutely nothing. In fact, it was a minus. They took away from this project, because those 2 songs that they were in, it's like I just skip through them after the first time, and I listened to them over and over again, right, to kind of get what the feel is. And it takes me to the point I was making before, especially for this artist Llona. Way people just, I actually haven't said a lot about him, because I'm just watching how the internet is just doing the internet things. And I see that on social media that he's like, that a lot of people actually like the music and listen to it. And I mean, people will like what they like, right? But I mean, we have to talk about the facts here. And I said, well, this artist, whatever it is, it's a short period of time, because I don't see any longevity here. I don't see what he's selling to me. He's not a rapper that I can say, okay, what he's saying, what he's rapping. And he's not a great singer, like he has a great voice here. It's not like he's an entertainer, like what maybe a D'banj bring, where he's not great on Edison, but he's incredible entertainer. Like he brings energy. The only thing I get it, well, he was singing about emotional, sad songs, which I think was his name since since this man, Boy Alone. For some reason I just can't remember his name right now. Since that album came out, it's like everybody is looking for bandit story, or some kind of story to tell that has to do with suffering and depression. Oh, Omale, I don't know why his name's given. Since Omale released that, and I think at this point, I think I will call that album a classic at this point, because it's been very, very influential. It's actually been influenced so many people's the industry's actions since he released that album. I can say at this point that it's actually, I will call it a classic for him, for sure. Now I'm just like, we have put so many artists on such a pedestal, right? And then they get out there and they can't deliver. I listened to the Llona on the track, and the way people have been the way we just big up people, and he brought absolutely nothing. It wasn't in. It didn't bring anything from the melody side, from the maybe harmony side to the songwriting side. Absolutely, gave me absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And then Teni, I don't even know. She is going through some, I don't know what to call it, like musical identity crisis right now, where she can't really figure out what it is that she wants to do or where her path is moving forward. She's just kind of stuck somewhere where I think that's what it is. She's just stuck. And I honestly don't know what to say. But the reason why I brought up the talk about the Fridayy project is, well, he was scammed here because the two artists did not bring any form of quality to this project in any way. I mean, looking at the other artists that actually featured on this project, I'm like, how do they even fit in here? And the thing is, let's ask ourselves a very honest question now. How many artists, Nigerian artists, would actually be featured on projects today and would actually add some sort of value to it? Take out the three legacy acts, because I think they've been featured by everybody. They've done all of that. I'm saying the people that are just coming in. How many artists today are going to be featured on people's project, not just Nigerian artists, but like the way Fridayy is, and actually add something to it? Honestly, to be honest with you, the way the industry is today, I cannot count 5 artists that would add some, great something to anybody's to somebody else's project. I don't think I can go beyond 5. It's the reality of it, like the way the industry is today. They're not adding anything tangible to anybody's record or project. And that's why everywhere has just been quiet. All of a sudden, the spaces that people are always doing, the spaces are not filled up anymore. Because there's no Davido or Wizkid or Burner to talk about. Because people don't really care about this. People don't really think deep about this industry. People are not thinking ahead. I am the only one who has made predictions of what the next decade is going to be like in this industry. I am the only one who has put out something like that. And you are not going to be able to do that if you haven't taken the time to actually think and kind of meditate on some of these things and come up with your own idea of what you think is going to happen and what you think should happen, what we need to do, and things like that. Nobody else is thinking about those things. Everywhere is just quiet. I was out for 2 weeks, right? We didn't put out any information for 2 weeks. And I come back and I'm like, well, if I was someone who wanted to know, to get updates, analysis on what is going on, and I'm like, okay, the past 2 weeks I've been traveling, nothing has been happening. Let me come back on social media. Let me find out what's happening in the Nigerian music industry. Absolutely nothing out there. Absolutely nothing. Nothing tangible is being spoken about. And that's because most of the industry is all banter. Nobody's putting out anything actually resourceful, anything thoughtful out into the space. It's all who's got the best song. It's all who's got who's praying for promo and who's not paying for promo. Who's on who's falling quickly from the Apple Music thing. Like, it's just things that absolutely no deep thought is put into it. It's just blog banter. Right? And here we are, kind of. And that's why I'm so proud of what we're doing here. I'm not even, at the beginning I was kind of sure. I was like, what we're doing here, is it really impactful? All of that, is it? At this point, we've been here for over a year now. And I'm looking at the landscape and I can confidently say nobody is doing what we're doing here. In fact, nobody has the bandwidth to do it. And this podcast is not built on the back of interviews with artists, of interviews with industry people. If I'm gonna bring someone here, it is because I think there is something I really, really need to talk to them about. That's why they're here. Like having idea you're here earlier on in the podcast, and shout out to him. Thank him. I actually do appreciate him spending his time being here. I think he spent almost more than an hour, over an hour here the last time he was here. And it was such a rich conversation we had. So I'm not just gonna have artists or industry people here just because I need them to push whatever it is. In fact, we are self-sufficient right here. From the conversations, the deep analysis of things that are happening, you're not getting that anywhere else, because so many people as well have no idea. Sometimes when they listen to music, they don't even know what they're hearing. They're hearing it, but they can't describe it. They don't have the right words to or whatever to put it together. Most people are just internet famous in the sense that they have lots of followers, and that kind of gives them some credence to talk about music. No. And it's evident because now that there isn't a lot happening, people are quiet. The streets are quiet. The streets are quiet. But guess what? We are still here. And we're still talking about the events around the Nigerian music industry. We're still talking about it here. We're still pointing out to issues that are not even people are not even focused there yet, and we're covering it here, like the Fridayy and featuring artists, right? And the artists being featured, and just propping artists that don't need to be propped up. People that don't have 2 or 3, they don't have 3 albums to give you, three consistent albums to give you. They don't. A lot of artists today don't even have that. And then we just prop them up. Man, I'm sorry I just went into that rant. But it's just ridiculous. I think Fridayy should actually take his money back. He should, whatever thing he paid, whatever deal, whatever he gave away to have Teni and Llona. In fact, this Llona one is just, it bothers me a lot. The whatever exchange, he needs to get his money back. He was scammed. He was duped. And I'm looking at it. Well, it's a really long album. So I'm like, well, he probably looked at it and be like, well, I can let 2 songs slip, and it wouldn't be a problem. I think that's how probably that ended. That might sound harsh, but it's evident. I mean, the album has how many songs? 21 songs. So, I mean, to have 2 that you can just as fillers, basically is what those 2 songs were. Nothing memorable about those songs. And I really do like this album. This is a phenomenal work done by Fridayy on this project. I didn't know I was going to love it as much as I actually do. I've actually listened to it a couple of times. Incredible work here. Am I going to say I'm proud of him? I only say that to people who are our own people. Are the only people I'll say I'm proud of. I'm actually proud of like that. So let's go to another artist whose song I actually heard this week, because there haven't been a lot of, well, I wouldn't say there haven't been releases at all. There just haven't been anything notable or worth talking about. But there's this artist who I'm not sure if you guys might know her, but her name is Africaine, right? She has this song out right now titled, let me pull that one up. She has a song right now titled Live Life. It's a cute little cute track there. I actually do like her as an artist. And I was listening to that song, and it just hit me that I actually did hear about her for the first time, I think, 2 years, no, it's been more than 2 years ago now, maybe almost 3 years ago. The first time I heard her was, I think she put out this Instagram post of one of her songs that I actually just totally love. The song titled One Chance, the acoustic version of that song. She posted a video of her, of herself singing the song with a piano, posted it on Instagram. And I remember hearing that song, and the song wasn't out officially on the DSPs. And I remember what I did was I would I would open Instagram, go to her page, right? Just to hear that song over and over again. And I remember I think I put a post there that, wait, when is this song gonna come out? And it's one of my favorite songs from her, probably my favorite, I would say, ever from her. It is a beautiful track. Her voice, her control on this song is just absolutely wonderful. Song's titled One Chance, Acoustic. You guys should go listen to it. I think that's the best work she has ever put out. She hasn't put out a project, EP, or anything like that yet, but I have always been very fond of her. That I just cannot take that One Chance Acoustic off my mind. It kind of guides everything for me, the way I look at her or the way I perceive her, because I'm like, if you can deliver a song that powerful, there is something else there. You definitely have something, right? So I've always been paying attention to whatever music she puts out, and she can sing. Like, it's not even whether she can sing or not. She can sing. She can actually sing. So I actually love that about her. But hearing that song, and I remember I listened to that Instagram video before the song came out for weeks. I think it must have been weeks, because maybe I was listening to it every day. Is maybe why it maybe felt like that. But I know I was listening to that. I would just go on Instagram and let the whole thing replay. If you leave the video on and it will start again or something like that. And I remember that I would just let it play. And when it stops, I will hit the play again on Instagram before the song came out. So I'm very fond of her. And when I just saw her name out that she actually has new music, I will always listen to her because I think she's got something to offer. I cannot wait for her to come out with a full project. And I think I hope that she knows she's got something very special in her vocal cords. She's really talented singer, and I just want her to go in that direction of that One Chance Acoustic. That is, I mean, I'm talking about it now, and I'm still having chills as to how I feel about the song, right? And if you can do that as an artist, I mean, that's the whole goal, where you can actually move people with your music. That has to be the goal, right? So I hope she's able to come up with a project that is filled with songs that are able to do similar things, like actually move you, right? She actually sings, and the songwriting on that track was actually brilliant, I think, as well. So Africaine, I'm very fond of her. I hope she comes up with a project really soon. I know she's independent or something like that. She has to be. I don't know the details about that, but I hope that whatever resources she needs to put together, her team, whatever they need to do, I just hope it comes up real soon. I just cannot wait. I think she's special. She's got something in her. Hopefully she's able to find it, explore it, and let the world see it, and actually put it out there for the rest of us to actually embrace it. So what else? Let me talk about this that I promised last week. So I promised you guys last week that I was going to talk about this Magixx album. Magixx is he's what will I say? He's a pop artist signed to he's signed to Mavin, I think he is. Let me confirm that. Yeah, he's signed to Mavin Records, and he released an album in February actually. And I didn't listen to it. I didn't listen to it all until a few weeks ago, and for some reason I just forgot to touch on it last week. And I promised you guys that I was gonna touch on it this week and give you my take. And I promised, it's gonna be brutal, because I don't know, man. As I listen to this album, because I've had time to actually think about how to describe my feelings around it. I always like to have the right words and kind of give you a picture of what is in my mind, and not just say, oh, this project isn't good or this project is just good. I think that's lazy. I try to give more in depth. I think these artists, we owe them more than just, oh, this is a trash project, or this is a good project, or maybe, oh, good production and all of that. I think 9 times out of 10 we owe them more than just that, because I think they've put a lot of work, a lot of money, and all of that into the work, into the project. Now, this album titled "I Dream in Color," how many? Yeah, 13 songs. And I will tell you this: this album for me, let me paint a picture for you. I'll let you know what it kind of felt and looked like. So it's like, when you stand, it's like you when you're window shopping, right? And you see a mannequin, and a lot of beautiful clothes have been put on the mannequin, right? You're in front of a store. So imagine yourself that you're in front of a store, glass in front of you. This store is an exotic, like they sell the best of the best. They're a legacy store, right? When I'm talking about, you think about like Gucci kind of thing, something like that, like a legacy store. But it's not Gucci, right? You just imagine it of this, right? You're on the streets of Europe somewhere or something, right? And you're in front of this legacy store. You're looking at window shopping. You're standing right in front of the glass, and you see this mannequin standing right there. Beautiful clothes put on the mannequin, right? But it's not a human being, right? It's still a mannequin, but the clothes, beautiful clothes on it. And it's just this, maybe several other mannequins right there on the window. And you're just standing there and looking at it. And for me, this album felt like a mannequin with clothes on it. This album lacked soul. There was absolutely nothing else to it. It was so surface level. It was troubling. Now, he's had good releases in the past. In fact, before the release of this album, I think I mentioned there was a song he actually released. Let me see, with another artist a while ago. I think with a Ghanaian artist. He released the song with a Ghanaian artist recently. I can't find the song right now, but he released the song with a Ghanaian artist not too long ago, and I listened to that song and I was like, well, this is actually good. And I mean, so it's not like I'm just hating on him, right? If I hear when he puts out something really good, I can commend it. Yeah, he put out a Kwame Eugene from Ghana featured him on a song titled "Best Part," and he actually brought a lot of flavor to this track. Like, this was a good feature, right? This was a good feature. And this was before, I think, the release of the album. And so when I listen to the album, I know when someone is bringing value. I know when a project has a soul, what that means, right? When I listen to this was just a mannequin with clothes put on it. No soul, no attitude, just static right there. I think this also goes way more than just him. This speaks more to the record label as well. For a legacy record label like Mavin Records, right? I think they just put him out there as a mannequin. There wasn't a lot of thought put into anything else. It's just put beautiful clothes on it and put it out there. People will love it. People will like it. It doesn't matter if it doesn't have a soul, if it doesn't have attitude, there is no extra oomph, right? When you see people walk on the runway, it's not just robots walking on the actually human beings with attitudes, and there's a grace with some of them, right? That makes the clothes on them, that gives that, it's like the brightness in them shines out through the clothing. Right, it's more than just the clothes when you see those ladies and men on the runway, right? If you've seen those runways, you know what I mean. Some of them is just like, you're like, wow. But that wasn't what this is. This album was just a mannequin with clothes put on it, no soul, no attitude. Just put something out there. And let me speak also about Mavin for a second. Now, for a record label with soul that has done a lot, like so much, not just from Mavin, but from from the early days of Don Jazzy as a record executive, like he's done a lot for this industry. I just cannot be I mean, that it would take a documentary to get through Don Jazzy, the music producer, and what he has done for this. There needs to be a documentary about him and everything he has done, the artist, and his contribution to the industry. Right? So that needs to be said. But right now, they're not giving us runway models. Right now, they're just giving us a lot of mannequins for us to window shop. A lot of the artists are not giving us soul, and there's no soul to the music. It's just mannequin and put clothes on it. You guys, I mean, you know my thoughts on the Ira Star album as well. That also lacked soul. Like, it's not even just me saying it. Their posture towards the album also tells you a lot. Like, Tyler still put out a feature for her project from 2 years ago, from last year. I mean, she's been on this run with this whole water and just the album for what, 3 years now. From 2 years ago when she released Water to last year when the album came out to this year, that's 3 whole years on this album run. That is when you know that you've got something in your project. There is actually something there. The record label know that there is no soul to that album, and I mentioned it at the time that it wasn't good enough. It's mediocre at best. Well, I mean, people were shouting is the album of whatever. They were shouting at using one song that they probably like to justify the whole project. And I mentioned, no, that's not the case. We're judging the whole project here. That is a mannequin with clothes put on it. No soul, no attitude. Same thing. I mean, they've also released a female rapper or something in the... and maybe last year or something, I can't remember her name, and all due respect to her, I just cannot pull up her name right now. Nothing as well from the lady. Ladipo as well, who, I mean, we just know him, he has a lot of name recognition more than the artistry is talking right now. It's more of the name recognition and the artistry. I mean, how many things have we gotten from him? How many projects have we listened to and be like, oh my God, this is a fire rap project? Like, what are we talking about here? Mannequins with clothes put on them. That is what the record label, Mavin Records, is at the moment right now. A lot of mannequins put out there for us for window shop with clothes put upon them, expensive clothing upon them. That's expensive production and all of that, glamour and all of that. But no soul. This is put out there in front of the glass for us to window shop than for and the way it used to be, where it's like we're just blown away by artist after artist on the runway, and we're just sitting there. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this? So this Magixx album, I Dream in Color, for me, it lacks everything that a project, like in 2025, with all the resources that is in that record label, there is no reason why. I don't know how someone listened to this and they said this was good enough to put out there. For me, it's like, no. Because we haven't even seen anything else. It's like they just needed to put out the project because they needed to put out the project. It's like, okay, it's your turn now. Go out there and put out a project. Basically, is what listening to this album felt like. Back to it again. No soul, no attitude. I don't want to. There was effort. I could hear the effort put into it, but outside of that, absolutely nothing. creatively, creatively, it was dry. And in fact, it just sounded like most of those tracks sounded like they got the beat from YouTube and he just sang on them. Like barely any effort put into actually producing the artist, producing the record, into produce it. Like I was talking about this last week, right? Where I'm saying we're having more it's a lot more um beat makers now than producers. And this album speaks exactly to that. This album felt like they just got the videos from YouTube and just brought it over, and he just recorded over them. Some of them then you're listening with, I mean, the reason why technology has moved, I mean, one of the benefits of like having the advancements in technology is when you're listening to music, I mean, with really good headphones today, sometimes because of the production and the good work that has been done, when you put in those headphones, you're able to enjoy the music more, for sure. Like if you're using a low quality speaker or headphones, you're going to be missing a lot from what, you know, the technology has been able to offer today, where they've been able to do so many things and improve on the sound, that when you're listening to it in the right environment, you're actually able to take in all of the music, right? But I'm listening to it I've listened to it in different settings, and it's barely anything moves me. Barely. Not even the harmony, not even the melody, not even the beat. I listen to this project, I'm like, how can a project be this soulless, be this dry? How can a project lack so much creativity and just drive? For me, I mean, nothing to absolutely write home about. I am absolutely disappointed in the work that this group, this whole thing, I think it's more than just Magixx. It's a label thing that is going on right now. That there is something definitely going on with that label. They've not been putting out anything remarkable, in a couple of years right now. Now, I remember a few years ago, I was at a radio station. I was working at a radio station, and I remember Ira Starr's very first EP. I remember that song, Sare, and I was listening to that. Man, my goodness, I could not get enough. It was the top of my trending 3 for weeks. So this is not me having a history of not recognizing good music when I hear it, or beautiful music when I hear it, or not recognizing soul in the music, or not recognizing the beauty in people's music. Like I mean, I'm way past that. I don't even know why I'm prefix, like I'm saying all of that. Like I need to justify myself here, right? Anyone who has been listening to me long enough knows that for me, it's just about the music. You're never gonna pay me enough money to influence how I feel about a song, about a music or project. It is what it is. Whatever I get is what I get. You know, no amount of money you're gonna pay me is gonna influence that, right? So, and my love for this artist, my love for the industry is there. That I'm not gonna, out of hate or whatever. Like I don't even know this artist or any of these people personally. In fact, I want to keep it that way. Because sometimes when you're close to people, you might not want to give everything you want to put out there, right? You might feel like you're loyal to them in some way. You don't want to be totally honest and things like that. But I think I'm way past that. I feel very comfortable where I am, and I can tell people that, well, whatever they're putting out is not good enough, and they're lacking in several ways. Here. I want to be able to do that, and if that would require me to stay arm's length from a lot of people in the industry, oh my goodness, I am so comfortable with that, because the work is a lot more important than trying to get relationships out there, right? What we're doing, I mean, it's a lot more important. I cannot overemphasize that point to you today, right? So there is definitely something happening at that record label, that I think the fire or something is out, the juice is out. I don't know whether that requires maybe Don Jazzy to come and maybe be involved in some sort of the creative part, because I cannot imagine that in 2012 any artist in his record label would put out a song, a project that lacked soul. I mean, I was just talking about Wande Coal and that Mushin to Mo hit. And even the bands that didn't have the greatest voice or anything like that, he still had energy to give. Like there was something, there was an attitude to the music. From everybody that we know that has been part of that record label for a long time, they all have attitude. There is soul, there's the oomph, there's the it factor. I mean, from Corey Bello, who released an incredible album that I don't think I would stop talking about that, from like 2 years ago, one of the best R&B projects that have ever been released in Nigeria. Right? So he definitely has it. There's that. I mean, he also had the it factor to him. And don't even get me started on Tiwa Savage. You guys know how I love her as well. I think she released one of the best projects last year. Of course, people are not talking about that because they don't know what we cannot recognize what they're actually listening to when they hear beautiful R&B music, right? So, I mean, a lot of artists that have come from that line have always had the soul, the oomph. Their music always had that. There's the attitude. There's something extra. So to get to this point where I'm seeing it now, it's become a trend where album and project after project and artist after artist, we're not getting the life that we usually would get from people who are part of that legacy organization. We're not getting that. And the truth has to be said. It needs to be said. And while I listened to this album, I was like, nah, this is way more than just Magixx giving an album that wasn't good enough. This is way more than that. This speaks to something else that is going on in that record label, and the truth needs to be said. I don't think anybody has mentioned that or is talking about that right now. So I want to know what you guys think about this as well, because I think I'm right here. And this is not just me pulling something out of the hat, like I'm just formulating. I'm giving you facts. I'm telling you to actually take a look at some of the things I'm talking about as well. Think about these things, right? Think about the artists. Think about the music they've put out the couple of projects that have come out of there. And I'm not saying all of them. I mean, Rema has been there. He's impacted the industry. Probably the artist who has impacted the industry the most in the past 2 years with his music. So, I mean, there's that. But I'm not talking about artists that have come from that organization, right? Probably the one who has done the most, made the most impact in the last 2 years. So, I mean, outside of him, it's just so, I don't know what to say, man. It's been like something is off. Something is missing. The oils, it's dry in there. The fire seems to be dimming out there. But, I mean, if there's someone who can actually revitalize that, is the person at the helm of things. He's been there. He's done it over and over again. And hopefully, I mean, I don't know what to say. Hopefully, he's actually seen that something is off here as well. And maybe he can he's planning on doing something about it. Hopefully he actually sees that something is off here as well, because if they don't, or if they're not seeing that there is a problem actually here, then I mean, we're still gonna get a lot more terrible projects coming up again. I mean, I didn't even mention what's his name, Crayon. That album wasn't good enough as well. I did maybe just one song. I think the song with Victoni was the one I really, really did like. The song, that one really had it. And then, I mean, there's Boy Spice as well. Maybe after that very first project, there's actually been nothing else again. So, I mean, you guys, I'm giving you facts here. I really, really want to know what you guys think about some of these things. As always, my DMs are open. You can reach out to me on Twitter, is at Tiae Sound, TIAE SOUND, Tiae Sound. Also, DMs are open on as well at No Stand Pod, NOSTANPOD. please send me an email if that's what you like to do. If you have something really long and expansive to talk about, is nostandpod@gmail.com. Thank you very, very much for your time, guys. That's where we kind of round things off on the show for today. You guys know every single week is brand new stuff. We ran out of time today, but I've got something I really, really want to touch as well that is related to some of the predictions or some of my thoughts around what the next decade will be like. I've got something I want to touch on that sound. I want to expand on that that I was thinking about recently. So you guys just stay tuned for that. We'll talk about new music and any other like fun stuff that comes up on this in the Nigerian music or African music industry during the week, or anything that comes to my mind or I've been thinking about. We'll touch on it next week. As always, don't hesitate to reach out to me if you've got things that you want me to talk about, something that you want to hear my thoughts on. Please reach out to me. Let me know. My DMs are open for that. I really want us to build something here where we can share ideas. We can talk about some of these things. And I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to always say you guys are right. No, if I think you're wrong, I will still listen to you, engage with you, but still tell you you're wrong and you're actually capping. But the most important thing is we're able to communicate. We're able to talk about these things. Okay, so thank you once again for your time. Please do not hesitate to refer this to pod to family and friends as well. Tell a friend to tell everyone to listen as well. So as always, please don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. And until when? Until next week, Monday. I remain my humble self, Tiae. Stay blessed.